Here is an example, and I want you to think it through. Let me set up a thicker black position. And now, white attaches underneath. Locally, we have A, B, C, and D. Which one? Take a moment, think it over, and choose. All right, time is up. Let's look at it. One of these 4 points is a throwaway. That is option D. Really, D could be erased from the board. Nobody plays D. White attaches, black simply gives way, and then white bumps and jumps into an easy good shape. So facing this attachment, black must ask, do I endure or do I counterattack? Look left, look right. On the left, black has a pawn-nuki, on the right, a wall. Wow. Black's left is enormously thick, pawn-nuki and all, and not wall on the right. What is influence for? Fighting, of course. So here, black really does not want the hane at A. Don't hope white retreats after the hane, letting black bump and cut through. That is dreaming. White will retreat on a third line. Then, what about below? If black connects back home, white clamps here. Black cannot fight back, the counter gets caught in a ladder. So black connects, white jumps again, and the wall and the pawn-nuki are left scraping points on the second line. Black has completely wasted the influence on both sides. So black does not want A. So cross that one off. That leaves 2 counterattacks. Which one? Which of the 2? The answer is the hane and cut. Hane and cut. Black hanes, white cuts, black extends back, and there must be a fight. Remember, even if you lose a fight like this, your decision was still correct. You may miss something later in the reading, misread a point, overlook a move, make a blunder. None of that changes the fact that here you must choose to fight. If you lose, review the reason. You can't say, I lost, so I'll never fight again. Would you stop eating because you once choked? Or stop drinking after one bad sip? No. Once bitten, forever shy, not here. So, hane and cut. If white extends, black presses out. The latter fails, so nothing to fear. If white lives below, white pays outside. If white hanes, black bends. White is cut and not yet alive. Black's left side support is close and thick, nothing to fear. White dare not fight. What about push and cut? Not good here. This shape is today's theme, mutual cuts at the head of two stones. Whenever this cross-cut shape appears in a fight, the second line hane becomes the key point for both sides. Nothing else compares. The second line hane is the vital point. White hanes across. Black blocks, white connects, or makes a tiger's mouth. White can cut here, so black must answer. Black 5 cannot be saved. Black must come back and defend. The best defense is simply to connect. A tiger's mouth leaves white leverage. White gives the tari and pushes out. Black is thick on the right, but white's center head is hard to seal. Black hanes, white cuts with atari, black ataras, white counter ataras and pushes through. Later, atari at 1 gives a ladder. Black cannot seal white in at all. That right side wall isn't thickness anymore. If black only extends, white pushes along, and black's lower right is unsettled too. So the right side turns thin. If black must defend the right, white ataras and runs out with a peep and a push in reserve. Attack and defense have now reversed. So the push and cut is a case where black's decision to fight is correct, but the move is wrong. The direction is right, the technique is wrong. Here, black must counterattack with the hane and cut. That is a feel for fighting shape. Some students did choose A and some chose D. But D is obviously impossible. Don't be that timid. And between the two counterattacks, many picked wrong. In a place like this, the counterattack is decisive. Endure even one move, and the whole position turns much worse. That's our first fighting shape. Enough on that.